You just crossed over into the female zone.
So I made a video last night asking you guys, why do men not approach me in real life? They approach me on the internet, but I'm not getting approached in public or, in real life situations. And one of the commenters said, I hate to tell you this, but I think you're going to have to lower your expectations and standards for a guy. Because at your age, we just assume something's wrong with you because you should be taken by now. Never will that happen. I would rather be single for the rest of my life. And let's not forget, I just got out of a relationship, so I was taken. And while that one was not very long, I've been in 3 other long-term relationships in my life. So I was taken for most of my life. And if I had been taken for all of my life from 15 different guys, you guys would say I'm sleazy. So I can't win for losing.
All right, so you'd rather be single for the rest of your life? Well, sister, all I gotta say is stock up on cat food and box wine because it looks like you're gonna have a very long, very lonely life. I mean, when the guys told you that men see you, a woman of your age, being single, they automatically assume that there's something wrong with you. They weren't lying to you. They were actually telling the truth. I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, but still, it is the truth. Would you rather do that they lie to you? Oh, that's right. You women demand honesty, but you actually can't handle it when you get it. Listen, sister, you said that you had 3 other long-term relationships, so you're not going to settle. Okay, maybe that there are other realities that you should accept. One reality you should accept is when you got into those long-term relationships, you were younger. In other words, your sexual market value was higher. You had a little bit more to offer the guy of what he was looking for. Now at this age, you don't have as much to offer a man of what he's looking for. Or let me correct that. The men that you want, you don't have a whole lot to offer them that they are looking for. You have what you think they should value. And that's what's happening with you women. When you say, I'm never going to settle, you don't realize that it's a two-way street. It's not just you having to settle for another guy. You have to stop and realize, guess what? That guy has got to settle for you too. I mean, a guy who wants filet mignon is going to have to settle for your beef jerky. Not an insult, just reality.
Before we move on, I want to say thank you, fam, to all of my subscribers for supporting this channel. I truly appreciate all of you who leave comments, who like my videos, and share them on other social media platforms. I truly gotta say thanks, fam. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you decide to hit that subscribe button. Moving on!
Oh, I just turned 40, and I kid you not that every relationship that I'm aware of with all of my friends who are married, they're all getting divorced. They're all getting divorced. And I don't know if it's just the age we're at or this. Everyone is getting divorced. Mind you, I have never been married. And the more that I see how this stuff is ending up, the more I'm like, should we even be doing this anymore? Should we be doing weddings and getting married? Because everyone I know is getting divorced. All the people who got married in high school or their later 20s, they're all getting divorced. There's not a single one. Well, okay, I take that back. There's one couple I know that is still married, and I think will stay married. I don't think that they will get divorced, but that's 1 out of 15. Everyone else is getting divorced. I genuinely I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to type that on my list. I don't know if that's something I even want to do because everybody is getting divorced.
You're still a failure.
All right, my decades plus post-war queen here. You say that you shouldn't get married because all of your friends are getting divorced. You know what? This girl is going to agree with you that men shouldn't get married, but for different reasons. Why? Because currently, in modern times, marriage does not benefit men. I mean, there really isn't much upside compared to all the downsides of marriage for men. That's number one. And number two, you said that all your friends are getting divorced. I have a particular question for that, sister. Who is putting in for the vast majority of all those divorces? Is it the men or is it the women? Statistically, it's women who overwhelmingly put in for divorce. It's something around 70% of all divorces are put in by women, and that other 30% isn't put in by men completely. 15% of that is put in by men, and the other 50% is a mutual. Both men and women want to get divorced. So overwhelmingly, women put in for divorce. They're the ones who are breaking up all the families because, the governments allow them to get that alimony cash payout with half the assets plus a child support bonus on the side. So yeah, I agree with you as to don't get married, but for different reasons. If men want to cohabitate with a woman to have kids and raise them, by all means, go ahead. As long as there isn't common law marriage in your state, go for it. That would be 53 of the states. The other 7, go ahead. flip that coin. Moving on.
I go on a lot of first dates, but not a lot of second dates because I don't tolerate poor behavior and I address it to their face. Men don't typically like that. I don't consider myself combative. I'm actually very non-confrontational. I don't want to argue with you, but if you say something that I find to be inappropriate or disrespectful, I am going to address it with you. That tends to make people very uncomfortable. I don't do it disrespectfully. And honestly, once I address the behavior, I move on almost immediately. Like, we don't even have to dwell on it. Take responsibility and accountability for what you said or did. Or if you feel that strongly about your position, if you provide a perspective that I can get behind, I can shift my mindset. Once there is an understanding developed, we can move on to something else. But if you start getting disrespectful, I'm going to start getting disrespectful, and I'm going to tell you about yourself. And you don't want me to do that because I can tell that you're emotional, and I really don't have any stake in the outcome. I don't care. If you left and never talked to me again, I'd okay, bye.
Because it's mind-boggling to you, yeah.
All right, sister. So you go on a lot of first dates, but you never go on a second date because all those men are disrespectful. All those men have a problem. All those men are just too combative. Yep, and the common denominator, you're just picture perfect. No, it's not possible that you could have an attitude problem. Let me take a shot in the dark here. You mentioned more than once a difference of opinion, and supposedly you're over it. Allow this gorilla to use his above-average female translator. That usually means you think that your opinions are right, period. And if a guy says something that, for him, it's just whatever, you get offended by it. In other words, you're a very delicate little flower that gets offended by anything. You want the guy to apologize for said offense or change his stance. And if he doesn't change his stance, you already decided in your head, okay, I'm not going to date this guy. I don't want to go on a second date because they're the emotional ones. Yes, all those men are the emotional ones. You're the stoic one. You're the strong one. You're right. They're wrong. And these men have got to change their ways because they're way too emotional. Usually when men date women like that and they don't want a second date, it's a pretty good sign that they've noticed many red flags. Kind of like the ones you showed in this video. Moving on.
So I'm okay single, but here are some things I actually do miss about having a boyfriend or being in a couple. Having inside jokes with the person that nobody else would understand, and really funny ones. Having someone to binge watch shows with. Just being single, I never binge watch shows alone. I've watched a few with my daughter, but really, I don't do it alone. So binge watching shows, definitely something I miss. Someone to kill spiders and bugs for me, or big palmetto bug roaches. If you live in Florida, you know what I'm talking about. I definitely miss being the passenger princess. Not gonna lie, I like being driven around. Someone to carry heavy things for you and help you assemble furniture. I'm just not good at that. Always having a +1 for friends' parties, family events, weddings, awkward things that you don't want to go to. Just having that +1. Having someone to call after a tough day or someone to give you a hug after a tough day. So what are some of yours?
Show of hands for everybody who knew. Bingo.
This isn't the first time we've covered this granny here on this channel, and it seems like little by little she's cracking under the pressure. It seems like she does miss a man, doesn't she? I mean, she said that she misses having inside jokes, binge watching shows, blah, 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 but then she got to the real things that she wanted for a man. I mean, she wants a man to kill spiders and bugs for her. Yeah, that's just about every woman out there. She wants to be a passenger princess. Again, just about every woman out there. She wants a guy to come home and do basic maintenance. I mean, carry heavy things and put furniture together. Gee, I wonder, is she the only woman that wants that? Nope, just about everyone out there wants that. And then she threw in some other fluff pieces like, being a +1 at a party or having someone to call or cuddle after a tough day. Sweetie, what happened to being Miss Strong and Independent, I don't need no man? Oh, as usual, as it happens with most of you queens, it goes from I don't need no man to I still don't need a man, but I would like to have a man, then to I want to have a man, then slowly but surely to I miss having a man. Until one day, it all comes crashing down, and once these strong, independent queens get beat down by the stick of loneliness, it's, I need a man. But I'm not going to admit it, but I actually do need a man. And you know what? By that time, you'll be able to find a man, just not the man that you want. You're going to have to do with that one thing that you dread doing. You're going to have to settle. Because the man that's going to be with you is definitely going to have to settle for you. Moving on.
Ladies, the men have spoken. They have spoken. And it is so loud, what I have known for many years, that men do not look at women as human beings. They think that when they take you out on a date, that they are checking off a box. They think that taking you out on a date implies in some sort of way that they're going to be able to get access to your body. They think that we as women put ourselves in front of them, potentially in harm's way, because again, they only look at us as objects to that when we go to dinner with them, we're using them for dinner. They believe that women don't have any interest at all, that they have a mutual interest with. So the only thing women are good for is to them. I am just speechless at this because I've encountered men that are like this, and I see them on my page quite often because I speak of men's poor behaviors and men treating women in such an inhumane way. But my recent video, it's at, I think, like 120,000 views in less than 24 hours. And the amount of men in that video that are literally like, this is very, very concerning because there are men that are like, well, women come at me for a free meal. Well, what else are they good for? Yeah, I expect you to have sex with me. What am I taking you on a date for? Women should just know that men are going to need to have sex. And if they don't give it, then men are going to find it somewhere else. Like, I have really good men that are in my life. I'm not in a relationship, but I have friends and family that are men that are really good men, and they don't look at women like this. And I don't know, I'm just appalled. At this point, that's really all I am.
Oh, you heard her, fam. She is not in a relationship. Oh, the shocker. This gorilla is so surprised. I wonder why you're not in a relationship there, queen. I mean, you said that men do not look at women as human beings. So you think that women look at men as human beings? Huh. Let's go down your list and let's find out. You said that men go on dates with a woman like if it's to check a box. Oh, excuse me, sister, but men have to check off a bunch of boxes before a woman even goes on a date with them. So if you want to talk about boxes, the ones who mention checking a box more often than not is women, not men. So let's start there. Next, men think that they have access to your body. And I'm sorry, you mentioned it a bunch of times, which if you mention it a lot of times, there's got to be some truth to it. A lot of women, I'm talking about a huge chunk, think that they could have access to a man's money as if they were an ATM. Men look at women as an object to have sex with. And women look at men as objects to draw money from. And I gotta ask, sister, what? Foodie dates are not a thing? They don't exist? Because they sure as hell damn do. And if men say it, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe men are saying that. What, the truth? I thought you women wanted the truth, but obviously you can't handle it. I mean, sweetie, you're acting like this appalling attitude only comes from one side of the aisle. Did you stop and think for a moment, could it be possible that the reason men act like this is because it's a reaction to the way they get treated? And you're thinking, that's not true? Okay, so let me get this straight. You women expect men to do the first move, ask you out, pay for the date, and then after that, he has to be content that he gave you what you wanted. And if he asks for anything back, OMG, those men are terrible. And when this happens enough times to men, guess what? They start acting out the way you described it. You want accountability? Why don't you start by taking some yourself? But look at the bright side, queen. As you continue to put these videos out, you won't have to worry about men dating you because you're making yourself undateable.
Fatality.
Flawless victory.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.